Hey guys, this is Colin, and today I'm just going to give you a quick demo of a new plugin for WordPress that's come out from the guys over at Brainstorm Force. Yep, they're the guys that did the ultimate add-ons for Beaver Builder, as well as the ConvertPro plugin that you could get from Code Canyon. The only problem with that one was that you had to pay per license. So they've come up with this new solution for pop-ups and slide-ins and all sorts of things that can be really useful for your site to get people's attention. And it's called ConvertPro. Here I am on their website. So the domain name I'll put into the show notes at the bottom is actually www.convertplug.com and then /pro. And I'm going to just compare this against a couple of other plugins that do pop-ups, namely OptinMonster and SumoMe, which will be the two direct ones. But I'm also going to throw Thrive Themes in there because they've obviously got a pop-up that does this as well. So it's quite extensive. I'm going to try and get through this as quick as possible. I was fortunate enough to be chosen as a beta tester. So I've been playing with this for a little while, and I've actually given some feedback on some features that I like, and they've actually included that. So really excited to show you this. So let's jump in there, and at the end, I'm going to get you to stay to the end. I actually have a discount code for you to get 25% off. So it's worth staying to the end. Anyway, let's get tucked in here. So basically, what does it do? Okay, so on your site, you'll have different triggers that you want to pop up a newsletter subscribe, or maybe you've got an offer. In my case, I do electrical websites, so it might be, get an estimate. That a button, click on the button and a get an estimate form pops up. Well, these guys have taken it to another level where you can customize and with a drag and drop interface, which I'm going to show you in a second, and really create some nice looking pop-ups, slide-ins, and info bars, as well as add some content to end of blog posts and stuff. So let's jump straight in and have a look at ConvertPro, and then we'll also look at OptinMonster pricing and Sumo pricing to give you some comparison on the cost. All right, so here we are on the page, and if we scroll down here, I'm going to try and get to some of the features. So it's got a drag and drop editor, mobile friendly, which is nice because of Google, obviously penalizing you for having intrusive pop-ups, and then super fast loading. So there's really very little overhead when added to your WordPress site. So we go down a little bit further. So other options here, you've got some freedom to design anything you want. You'll see that in a minute. It's quite amazing actually. And then your behavioral triggers, you can essentially have this pop-up or slide in for any type of behavior out there, and they've really not limited you to any types of conditions, so you really can choose anything you want. And there's lots of integrations, and I'll show you some of those too. So if we have a quick look at the compare of OptinMonster and Sumo, we can actually go to that page here, and we'll compare it to OptinMonster first of all. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for this to load up here, and here we go. So essentially on price, you're looking at ConvertPro for unlimited sites. It's going to cost you $99 a year. Actually, it's going to cost you less than that because you're going to get a coupon code today. And OptinMonster is $348. Now, if we look at some of the performance here, so this is actually on the performance, speed performance. You look at some of the requests. So a request for an OptinMonster pop-up is essentially at 24, and the ConvertPro is at 15. And so the page size obviously is compared there, and the page speed grade that you'll get from Google, there's really not much difference between now. Now, if you start adding in the drag and drop builder that ConvertPro is included, then you'll start seeing some differences. So you'll actually have a lot more freedom. Anyway, that is pretty much, a quick overview of what the difference is between OptinMonster and ConvertPro. But if we go to the table here, so performance-wise, aesthetic, and the opt-in forms, here's the bit that's really important for you to see. So if we look at all these options here, so we've got lightbox, pop-up, info bar, slide-ins, and we can go through the list, and you've got all these different things here. These are all included. The only one that's not here right now is the full screen overlay, and there is kind of a way you can do that if you decide to use a pop-up. Okay, so that is the opt-in form types. And then if we look at the behavior types, we can look at welcome pop-ups, well-timed, and we can go through this. You'll have the link that you can go through this on your own time. But essentially, ConvertPro have taken what OptinMonster have done and added more features and more functionality. That's the OptinMonster comparison. I'll let you go through that in your own time, but basically, yeah, you're comparing one for one. So I'm just going to go back, and hopefully we'll get back to Yeah, the compare, let's go forward one. So compare now, if we go to Sumo, you're going to see a huge cost saving difference over Sumo. So we'll have a look at the pricing first of all. There you go. So ConvertPro is $99 for unlimited sites and unlimited traffic, but Sumo charges $1,428 a year for 1 to 9 sites and limited traffic. So they don't even give you unlimited sites for that. So then we come down here and we look at the performance. Once again, you know, ConvertPro really does stand up against the competition when it comes to performance. And then, you know, you've not just got pop-ups, you've got inline forms, widget boxes, and after post forms. So if we go back up to that comparison table again here, we'll do the comparison table, we can see, we can get down into the opt-in forms types here. So once again, you know, ConvertPro obviously has more options than AppSumo. The only one outstanding right now is the full screen takeover. That's the one where you land on a website and basically the whole page is covered until you click down or click on the subscribe button. So the behaviors, once again, you know, ConvertPro have got them all covered, and I'll show you some of those behaviors in a minute. And then the identification is also important, so you can identify, you know, if it's a first-time user, you can show a different pop-up, or if you've got someone's logged in, or you've converted someone already, it's really important for you to be able to send them a different pop-up if they've already bought something from you. And then we've got some A/B testing down here. So pricing-wise, as you can see, for a single site, it's $348 a year for SumoMe and $49 a year for the ConvertPro. I know most of you will be looking at the developer version, okay, and this is where it comes in. So $99 per year for unlimited websites and unlimited visitors. And then if you want to buy this, you know, once off and not pay an annual fee, then there's a $399 one-time payment here. So for unlimited sites for lifetime, and you'll get updates for life then. So price-wise, it's really competitive. Even if we go over to Thrive and look at their pricing really quickly, you know, Thrive have got their membership that you'll pay $19 per month to access all their products. So that's paid annually, by the way, so you can't just pay $19 a month. And then if you just want to buy Thrive leads for 5 or 15 sites, then it's going to cost you $147. And then 5 license pack is $97. So a single site is $67. That's for 1 year for one site. So, you know, features wise, Thrive are comparable. There's a few little bits and difference very much, but I'm not going to do a full comparison against Thrive at this point. I just want to show you the ConvertPro. So that's the options that you've got out there. So essentially it's against SumoMe, OptinMonster, and Thrive Leads. I've actually got Thrive Leads. Thrive Leads is good, but you know, I think I'm going to move everything over to ConvertPro because the ease of being able to create these ads is really good. Anyway, I've rambled on about the comparisons here. Needless to say that ConvertPro competes competitively with all the other ones that are out there. So let's go into the dashboard of ConvertPro, and I've got this ready here. So this is what you see actually when we go to the dashboard. We'll get straight into here. This is what you see when you first come into your dashboard, and you'll see that you've got a quick summary of your conversions or your impressions and conversions. I've obviously got none on this site because I haven't clicked through on anything, but you would see your daily record here, or daily impressions, okay? And below that, we've got the designs, and I've got 6 of them already built right now, and obviously some of them are turned on, some of them are not. We're going to go through some of those really quickly. Then at the top here, I've got create new. This is where I'll get the options. So the 6 options I have currently, there's obviously going to be another one, a full page one coming in here. The 6 I've got right now is the modal pop-up, the info bar, the slide in, the before after, in content, and widget box. So this one just basically pops up a pop-up anywhere on your screen. This one slides in an info bar from the top or the bottom. Okay, so essentially you'll see that in a second. I've got demos of these. Slide in will slide something in from the side or the bottom of the screen. The before and after allows you to have a banner or an ad or opt-in form after a blog post. The in-content form allows you to put a form anywhere within your content with using a shortcode. And then the widget box allows you to put an opt-in form in your widget area or the sidebar of your blog, for example. So I'm going to go through and sorry, we'll go to the next one. You've got A/B testing up here. So once you've actually got some designs in here you want to test against each other, you can create a new test. And then you've got some settings. And in the settings, we've got the global font we want to use. In this case, it's set to Lato. Olado, and then we've got an inactivity time of 60 seconds. So this is important to consider later on, because essentially there's an option to trigger based on someone's inactivity. So if they've been on your site and the page is there and they don't do anything on it, let's just say they go away and make a cup of tea, when they come back there'll be a pop-up on the screen or a slide in, or whichever device you've chosen to show. And then the show credit link obviously shows the ConvertPro, and these guys have set it to off, so they're not trying to just force you to use their credit on the bottom. So that's the way it comes out the box. Next one is advanced, and basically this first option is what determines where you want to actually display this in your admin menu there. So right now it's at the top level. You can put it into settings, you can put it into plugins. So if you've got a customer, it's useful to be able to hide this somewhere and it's not actually visible. So right now it's set to top level middle, so that's in that section there. And then below you've got allow ConvertPro for different levels of user. So we've got editor, author, contributor, and subscriber. Obviously admin get access to it, but if you want someone that's an author to be able to get into a ConvertPro, then you can check that box. And below that, developer mode is if you see that you're having some problems with some CSS or JS, you can actually turn on developer mode and help you diagnose some problems. Next one is analytics. You can connect it to your Google Analytics, and then you can actually track your ads through Google, which is awesome. And that's also available through OptinMonster, and I believe Thrive Leads do that as well. The email template. So this is the standard email template that if you don't have a connection to an email service like Aweber, MailChimp, or ActiveCampaign, for example, then you can create a form that sends a message to the admin, and that's essentially this one here. Your license, obviously, to register this. So when you buy it, you get a license number and you put it in here to see it's active. And the last one is add-ons. When you first actually come here, there'll be a little box here for you to click on connect the add-ons. And these are the connects. You'll see these in a minute. Some advanced scripts, analytics add-on is there, the A/B testing add-on is there, and the grid is actually part of the design. You can turn on and off when you're actually designing these things. So that is a quick overview of the settings. I'm going to go right back to the dashboard, and we're going to go to the front end of this site, and we're going to actually look at some of these pop-ups in action, and then I'll come back and explain what they are. So right now, if we come to this page, I'm going to refresh it. And after about 5 seconds, I think I've set this to, you'll see a pop-up. There it is, right there. My experience, I would just click on the outside and it will disappear. So that one is set to every single page. So for example, if I go to the info bar page, after about 5 seconds, that one comes up again, so that we can do that. Now, info bar, if we look at the top, as I scroll down this page, and get to, I think 50% I've set it at. There we go. So 50% down, this info bar slides in. And we can have that positioned at the bottom. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the top. But it's a nice way of, getting your reader, how can I say, when your reader is involved, to actually pop up an offer to them when they're actually in the middle of reading content. So I like that one. We've got an X on this one, so I'm going to X that out. Okay, and then if I go to the next option up here, so actually, I just went past the scroll. So when I scrolled back up, it came back in there. So that might be something that you will eliminate when you use cookies, for example. And next one would be the pop-up one. Now on this one, the pop-up will come in. There we go. And the pop-up comes in there. And then the next one over here is slide in. And this one, again, is triggered by a position on the page. There's the pop-up because that comes on every page, so I'll get rid of that. And as I slide down the page, look at the bottom right here. So that's that's slid in based on being involved in the website page, being involved in the web page, and actually being engrossed in reading the content, and that might be the time to come in and put that there. So those are some of the pop-ups, and then of course the last one is blog. And if I go to just post I put together here quickly for the demo, when I scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that I've got one down here. So let's go in and actually look at the breakdown of some of these pop-ups real quickly. So I'm going to go back to the back here, and let's start looking at some of the designs. So I'm going to go up here to create new, and we'll take a look at all the different modules here. So the first one is the pop-up modal, so the modal pop-up. We click that one, we'll get to see all these different designs. So you can start off with a completely blank one if you want. And then you've got all these over here. Scroll down, there's lots of different designs to get you started, okay? And every now and again you might want to just refresh the cloud templates, because the guys who make ConvertPro will be adding new ones as we go along. And the other nice thing up here is if you're looking for a specific type of pop-up or design, you can choose from this drop-down list. So for example, if you're looking, for, ebook downloads, these are the ones that will give you ebooks. There's a typical example of an ebook one. There's another one there. Or if you want to go with limited time offers, some of the options here will be for limited time offers. I guess you might be able to put some kind of timeline on these. So that's the pop-up module. Let's go back to create new, and let's have a look at the info bar. So the info bar, you've got the blank option, obviously right from the start. You've got this one that's down at the bottom here, okay, which has got another element that comes up out of the bar. And then you've got one from the top here, there's another one from the top here, and another one from the top. Now, we'll get more into these. I'll show you how they work in a little bit, but those are your options for the bar. Okay, so the info bar. And I'm going to go back to create new again. And then we go for the slide in. So these are the slide-in options that are going to slide in from the bottom right there. Okay, blank option. And you can scroll down. You can do the same thing over here, select your goal. So product upgrades, these are the ones that you can use for product upgrades to start off with. I think it's a pretty good idea and can probably be expanded as time goes by. So back to create new, that's the slide in. The before, after, these are the ones that will go after your content or your blog posts. And yeah, they don't necessarily look like this. For example, if you select this one, it's more of a wider letterbox style ad, and some of these might also be letterbox style, but you can modify that obviously once you've selected it. So that one is the before and after content, and this one down here is in content form. So essentially when you create one of these forms, you'll be given a shortcode to put into your content, and then this form will appear. Okay, so last one over here is the widget box. So all these designs are designed to go in the sidebar of your sidebar or widget area of your website or your web page. So these are going to be skinny looking things, and once again you can refresh the the template cloud. If there's any new ones, you're going to get to see them there. So let's go back to the dashboard one more time. So let's choose one of these pop-ups, and we'll choose this one, new pop-up, okay? And then we can show you how the design element works on this, okay? And so there it is. Okay, so what we've got is, when we start, we've got the elements section, and these are all elements that are on the page. Now, obviously the heading is going to be this guy here. We can change the font family and change the text, and you can double click inside it to actually change the content. So that's going to be the text module. I'm going to click done. And then you've got the subheading, okay, which is the one below, and so on. Paragraph, HTML. You can put HTML code in here. So if you've got a form from Gravity Forms, for example, you can probably use the HTML module. And then you can include images, and this is actually a closed button or a closed image. So if you drag that out and put that up there like that, and then I'm just going to position it. There we go. We can change that style any which way we want, and obviously we can move it anywhere. You're not restricted. You can put it right in the middle if you want, but we'll put it up there for now. And that's the predefined icon. You can also upload your own, which is pretty cool. Anyway, next thing we're going to go to is the closed text. This is essentially the word close instead of the icon that you see there. On the other side over here, what you have is you have some of your layer tools. So for example, if I brought this over here, and for some reason I wanted it behind that shape there, or let's just bring it over here, and I wanted it behind the heading, I could keep going back with this and actually send it backwards. Or I can bring this one and bring it forwards. There you go. So you can see how you can change elements and the position as to where they are. So I'm going to bring that back again, and then I'm just going to get hold of that and drag it and put it back up there in the corner. So you can also clone it, and you can also put it through. So if you wanted to, remove that, you can just click on the garbage and it's gone. So you can move things around. You can move things around any way you want. Now you see how you've got the nice little line, the lines that help you guide there. Isn't that pretty awesome? And then obviously you can position this any way you want to. There is also an option to show the grid, and there's the grid option. So you can position things a little bit more precisely. So we'll just turn that one off. And you can also take a look at the mobile view by clicking over here, and that's what the mobile view looks like. So if you've got a wide one, you'll see a big difference, but I'm going to go back to the desktop view. Okay, and next option down below is the form option. So you can add fields here. So if you wanted to add an email field, you could put that in there. Okay, obviously that one probably doesn't work, so we can send it back. I'm going to keep sending this back until, you know what, I'm going to probably just make it easy and bring this one forward. There you go. So you can actually have some overlapping elements here if you really wanted to. I mean, I don't recommend it, but you know, there you go. There's an option. You can put the email field in there. So I'm going to click done on that. There, you've got all these different forms. You can also change the typography. And in the Advanced tab, you get to do some animations and borders and things. So that's pretty much the same in all the modules here. The button section enables you to design and create different color buttons. I mean, these are just templates to start off with. If you do drag one out, you can change it to any color style you want. The next one is shapes. These are pretty handy. There's lots of them as well. So as you can see here, there's tons. If you want to bring out, you know, credit cards, for example, you can bring that down there. Now, once you've brought it out and positioned it, you can change the color. So if you want stripe to be red, you know, you can do that. And then you can also change the hover color. You can also change what happens when you click on that. So for example, if you want to go to, you know, Stripe, if someone clicks on that, you can go to that, or a page that may say, hey, this is our conditions. You know, you could have terms and conditions down there, which is really cool. You can also close the page. You can also submit and close. All these actions are there for you. So that's really cool. These are there for pretty much all the shapes. I'm going to leave that there for now. But some of the nifty things you can do with this, like for example, if I bring this one up into the corner over here, you know, and then I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. You know, I can essentially match this gray color in the background, and I'm going to guess. I mean, I could probably just sample that, but you know, I can make my design look a little bit more. There we go. I think we got it. A little bit more jazzy by doing that. So if I go there, you can see I didn't quite get it, but you could, you know, create different shapes. And of course you can change the colors any way you want. You can add shapes. You can see some shapes out here already, like this little square, that little rectangle. So you can really kind of jazz up your designs. So the editor is a lot of fun, actually. You'll get in here, you can do all sorts of things. Now the panel one is the last one. And this is essentially allows you to select the size. So right now it's set at 300 by 380. So for example, if I move this to 580, just to give you some big different, you can see, there we go, it grows. Okay, but I'm going to put it back to 380. The background, we can choose from gradient, color, gradient, and image. So we can actually add an image in there. If I just go to gradient, I'll just show you how that works really quickly. So I'm going to choose white at the top, and then I'm going to choose, you know, blue, something dark down the bottom. And as you can see, I'm going from light white to dark blue, and you can change the starting point of that. So if I move the start point down, you know, I want it there. And then I can bring the end point down. You can darken it a little bit down there. It's pretty cool. You can change the gradient direction. So if I wanted to go sideways or from the corner like that, pretty cool. The overlay is this background area. So this gray you see over here. And you can choose any color you want. So for example, if you use the yellow, it would do that. Now this is kind of a way that you can do the full page cover right now. Essentially, you can just create a large pop-up and then use the overlay to hide the page. And then you could use one of the shapes to actually click and close it and go down. So that's one of the workarounds until the full page cover option comes out. Next, you've got animation. So you can, this is the animation of the whole thing. So right now, you know, it's there's the bounce effect. You actually get a little sample or a little demonstration of what it looks like when you select the option. So that's what slides in. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. The border, I haven't got any border on this, but let's just add, you know, actually we'll add a solid border, and we will put in, I don't know, 10. Does that look like? So 10 all the way around, and we'll change that to white. And there we go, we've got a nice little border. That little shape now I'm going to take off. And you notice how it went back to the shapes automatically for me to delete that, and that one as well. And then I'm back to the panel. I like that. That's a nice little feature that you don't notice straight away. Shadow, there is no shadow right now, but I could put an outset shadow. Let's bring that to be a little bit more out like that. You can see the shadow just starting to happen down there. We'll just make it pretty, okay, and we'll bring the spread out. There you go. So you can create shadows to give it some depth. The credit link, which is this one down here, you know, you can choose yellow, for example, and the credit link doesn't show up. And then you can also add JavaScript. So after design opens, you can run JavaScript. After design close, you can run a script, and after submission. So 3 conditions there that you can run JavaScript or an additional script for your page. Pretty cool stuff. Right, so that's the elements, that's the form, that's the button, that's the shape. So that's all on the design front of things. And honestly, the sky's the limit as to what you can design there. So let's go into the configure option. So this is where the launch, so how do we launch this? Right now it's set to exit intent, and exit intent is when the mouse is going to leave the viewpoint and you can actually pop it up, so don't leave kind of thing, you know. And so we're going to leave that on the exit intent, but I'll just run through these options really quickly. So you've got the timed one, so if you put this on, you get a certain amount of seconds after they arrive on the page. Defaults to 1, but you know, you might want 3 or 4 seconds. Then the exit intent, obviously, is when you want to, when your viewer is leaving your page, they will get a little pop-up. The after scroll, so this is actually a very useful one. So you want a reader or a user to engage your content, and when they get down for, you know, like 50%, then you can use a pop-up to come in, or a slide in, or you know, the info bar to drop down and engage them while they're in the middle of reading your content. So I'm going to turn that one off. User inactivity is pretty useful. So if you have a user that's on the site and they haven't, you know, done anything, they haven't scrolled, they haven't moved their mouse, then the user inactivity pop-up option will hit. Now that was a default setting set up at 60 seconds in the main settings that we saw earlier. Then you've got the after blog post. So this is to insert your design into your content area after the blog post. And then here's a certain point with CSS. So if you've got a Beaver Builder row, for example, you can put a CSS class or ID in here, so that when they scroll down to a certain point or get to a certain point on the page or click a certain button, then it will pop up your design there, or slide out your design. And then on click actually is another option for a button. So if you use this, then you can create, you know, like for example, pop up. You can choose a class, so that would be a dot or an ID, and you actually put it in there. So that's how that works. Okay, and turn that one off. So that's the launch option. So that's in the configure. The target is where you choose where you want to do it. Right now, this one is set to only pop up or work on the pop-up page. So it's an exit intent, and it will only work on the pop-up page. But if I get into the options here, so you've got, you know, entire website, for example, or singular pages, posts, all single archives, special, all your special pages. So if you just want it on the front page, that one is there. That's a very useful one. Also on just the blog post page. So if you don't want any pop-ups on your main site, but just get them onto the blog pages, it's there. You can also do it on author archives and date. And then you've got all your posts, certain posts, you know, your post archive, your post categories and your tags. So you can choose, very, very flexible. And then you've got obviously all your pages, and you can put pages into archives and or your archive pages and categories and stuff. And then the last one is the target specifics, and that's the one I've used for this pop-up here. So, you know, I've got it on pop-up. If I started, you know, typing another page, let's slide in, for example, right there, or I've got a blog post called ConvertPro post. I'll show you, I'll put it on this page as well so we can see. And that is the target specifics. Underneath that, we've got user behavior. So we see if this is actually for logged in users. If you're not logged in, you don't have to see it. If it's a first-time visitor, you've got the option to show it for a first time and then not show it after that. So that's a cookie-based. And then you can hide it on devices. So this one's hidden on mobile, but you can hide it on, you can have specific ones for mobile, which is very useful, rather than having them set for all of devices. So you might create one type of pop-up for desktop and then choose not to display it on mobile because you're actually displaying your content to a different type of user. And then mobile, you might have a different type of pop-up. For example, a phone number, say, hey, call now to get a special offer. Then on the referrer, you can put down or you can include sites for where this has come from. For example, if it's come from Google, then you can actually track where these particular people are coming from. And then last but not least on this page is the schedule. So if you're not ready to run this pop-up or this design right now, then you can set it to start at a certain time. You can also set it to end at a certain time. So if you're running a promotion and you're not going to be around, or you want to end it at midnight, for example, but don't want to stay up, you can schedule an end time, and that pop-up will stop displaying at that date and time. Very, very useful. Okay, same as if you're starting one, I guess, as well. So that's the target option. Then we get down to cookies. So this is turned off, so I can show you and demo these pop-ups happening. If I turn this on, then this pop-up will not be shown for 90 days in this case after conversion, or not shown for 30 days after they close it. So if they don't go through and actually click through, then I'm going to show it to them again in 30 days. But if they do, I don't want to show it to them again for 90 days. Okay, so that's pretty cool as well. And then the last option is the connect, and this is where you have all your email marketing companies and options. So for example, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign is actually the one I use. Then you've got Campaign Monitor, you've got ConvertKit and Drip, another two popular ones. Constant Contacts is obviously a popular one, and you've even got Mautic, which is a newer one for some people that I know. And you've also got MailJet and some of the email only type providers. Okay, so that's every option there. I think Infusionsoft is there. So most of the email marketing or marketing automation companies are included here. I can't see any that I know of that you're going to need. There probably is one or two, but anyway, I can't see any off the top of my head. And this other option here is email. So this, if you're not using an email marketing software, or you want email notification of some time, or you want email notification of someone submitting one of your forms, then you can also get it here. Okay, so I'm going to go to the option over here. I'm going to click Save. And then to the right of that, we've got a published or unpublished button. And you can't see it on my display properly right now, but if I click that, you'll see that it says published. And if I close that and I go to the dashboard again, you'll see that that new pop-up is at top. And just to rename that as, let's go to exit intent, for example, pop-up. Then that way I know what it is. And I can also even put, pop-up and page, pop-up and blog. Save. And then that way I've got a better description of what it is in there. And if I come back and I've got lots and lots and I individualize them here, at least I will know what they are. So the other one I've got in here is in content. Let me just quickly show you that one. And what this does is it generates a shortcode. So right now that's my design. I'm not going to go and alter the design, but if I go into the configure, you see the shortcode there. If I take that shortcode, and I can do this right now, copy that, and I'm going to click on, make sure it's active, save, and then I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to go back to my site. And for example, on this page here, I'm going to do the quick demo. I think it's just really quick to put the form in line. And for example, maybe down below here, I want to put in a text module. So we've got the basic, and I would put an HTML module in here, right there. And in there, I'm just going to put my shortcode in. And there you go. That was easy, wasn't it? And click done, publish changes. Now if I scroll down here, there's my form. That was pretty easy. There's the pop-up coming that I actually had earlier. So, and there's the slide in. So I'm going to get into showing you some of those in a minute. But Really easy to do that. So if we go back to the dashboard here, so I've got all these different pop-ups prepared, and you know, slide in will show you slide in on scroll. So I'm going to show you some of these in action now. Okay, so we'll go back to this home page and we'll close that. So that is the home page. So first of all, after about 5 seconds, you're going to get the timed pop-up. There it is, about 10 seconds. Okay, and if I scroll down here, I've got no other pop-ups on this page. So I'm going to leave this page, and then I'm going to go to the info bar page. Now on this one, I've got 2 of these set up, well 3 actually if we include this one. So this one's set to show up on the every single page, which would be really annoying and probably don't want to do that. So I'm going to just close that one. And then as I scroll down, when I get to about 50%, you'll notice that the info bar slides in there like that. So that's pretty cool. Okay, now if I scroll up and get rid of that, I also added one of the pop-ups to a button. So if I click on this button, there's the pop-up for that. Okay, and also that same one is being run from text. So you can add it any which way you want. Okay, now if I add a CSS ID or class to one of the rows, when I scroll down, it would actually do the same thing like that, or a pop-up, a modal. So it's pretty cool that way. I'm going to go to the next page and show you the pop-up. So here we are on the pop-up page, and that annoying one's going to come up. So that's gone. And next I'm going to go up to exit. So I'm going to go up here, and as you can see, there's my exit intent pop-up. Comes in that, so that's the pop-up exit intent. Okay, next one I'm going to go over to is the slide in. Now I've set this up so that when you scroll down a certain amount page, that one always comes up. Down here you'll see on the bottom right, there you go, it's coming. That's a good time to engage a customer or actually ask them a question if they need any tips, or when they get down to a certain point in the page. So that's pretty good. And then on the blog, if we go over to this post over here, let's scroll down, you'll see that I've got one at the bottom here. But I can also add one of the widgets over here. So let's just go into my dashboard, close that where I was before, back into the dashboard. Let's go back into the dashboard. And then down here I've got, you know, actually let's just create one really quick. So create, we're going to do a widget box, okay, and I'm going to do this one. Let's select it. And it's going to be a widget, really quick. Okay, load. I'm going to leave all that there. This is the option to connect it to one of your email providers or email marketing, but I'm just going to click that. I'm going to click save. I'm going to click make public. Now this is the part where you will need to go into your theme and go to your widgets, and you see how we've got this primary sidebar here, and I've actually already added a ConvertPro widget. But what I'll do is I'm going to choose which one I've created, and it was just that one I created, widget. So I'm going to click save, and let's go and have a look at the front end and see if that widget's there. So I'm going to click refresh, F5, there it is, jumps straight in. Obviously this one's too big to fit in there, so the scroll comes up, so I'd want to make it a little bit smaller. But there's your design now in as a widget. So that's pretty much the way that ConvertPro works. It's got a lot of options, a lot of good options. I'm going to go back to the dashboard here, and I like it a lot. So here's the deal today. So today I'm going to give you a coupon code. So go to Brainstorm, click on Get Started, and select, you know, which option you want. I just selected that one. There's the discount code. So if you've got a discount code, just type in Colin in capital letters, click apply, and you'll notice you go down to $74.25. You just saved 25%. So that is my coupon code for you. I'll put it in the bottom, but if you put in Colin in the discount code, you'll get 25% off, and that will be for 1 year of unlimited pop-ups, unlimited slide-ins, and then next year when you go to renew, you'll still get 20% off. You'll probably get 20% off the full price, but it's a lot cheaper than OptinMonster. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than SumoMe, and also cheaper than Thrive, especially when you're adding this as an unlimited sites license. So I recommend it. Go for it. It's very good. There's still some more new things to come that will be added, and I assure you that you'll get your value for money. So use Colin as a coupon code and you get 25% off. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye now.